Okay, so our next topic is the ethnomedicinal importance of the Fabaceae family. We have already studied this Fabaceae family in the third unit, that is in the phanerogams, and by large we have studied the different vegetative as well as the reproductive character of this particular family. And we have given much of the emphasis on this particular family because it is closely related to our agriculture, right? But during this lecture, we will only focus on the ethnomedicinal importance of the Fabaceae family. That is, whatever the members of the Fabaceae family which were used by our ancient people, that application only we are going to study into this particular video lecture. Okay, now consider this is your syllabus. We are dealing with the paper number 1 and chapter number 4, that is plant resource development, and we are here at the importance of ethnobotany in the Indian context. Okay, now why we are doing such a kind of videos? Because of this question. This question was asked in the UPSC mains examination of 2020, in which we have to state the ethnomedicinal importance of Solanaceae family and the Apiaceae family, and for each one you have to put forward the 3 plant example for its ethnomedicinal value, right? So consider the Fabaceae family. Okay, now during the study of Fabaceae family, we are also going to take the 3 plants as an example for the ethnomedicinal importance of this particular family. So consider the very first plant which belongs to the Fabaceae family is the Acacia nilotica. Okay, write down carefully. The Acacia nilotica is the first plant of the Fabaceae family for which we are going to consider its the ethnomedicinal importance. Now the bark part is used of this particular plant, and the bark is completely converted into the powder form. And afterward, this powder is very useful in the ulcer treatment. Okay, so the treatment of the ulcer was done by our ancestor by using the bark portion of the Acacia nilotica, and this bark portion first completely get converted into the powder form, and then this powder form is used for the treatment of the ulcers for the patient which is suffering from the ulcer. Okay, so it is quite an ancient technique or treatment which is used by the local people around which this particular tree, that is Acacia nilotica, grows. Okay, now consider the second plant in this regard is the Cassia fistula. Okay, write down the name carefully, Cassia fistula, and you should underline the botanical name. Now this particular Cassia fistula plant, out of it we are going to use its leaves. Okay, and out of the leaf a very particular kind of a paste is created, and this paste is used against the ringworm lesions. Okay, whatever the ringworm lesions got created during the ringworm infection, and these are for the treatment of these ringworm lesions, such a kind of paste is very useful. So we are using this time the Cassia fistula plant. Out of this Cassia fistula we are going to use the leaf, and these leaf are very useful in treating the ringworm lesions once they got converted into the paste. Okay, so carefully remember the name of the plant part used, and how we are going to use this plant, and against which medical condition we are using that particular plant. Now the third plant which belongs to the Fabaceae family is the Butea monosperma, and you know this example because during the angiospermic family studies we have studied this at a large. Okay, we have studied this plant already, right? So this Butea monosperma which belongs to the Fabaceae family, its flowers are very useful in creating a one particular kind of a lotion. Okay, what we are creating this time, we are creating the lotion out of the flowers of the Butea monosperma, and you already know the brightly pinkish colored flowers are there in the Butea monosperma plant. Now these flowers are used to create a one particular kind of a lotion which is used in case of the eye diseases. Okay, very specific kind of a application is there for the Butea monosperma flower, that it is used by our ancestors for the treatment of eye diseases. So here we have the third plant which belongs to the Fabaceae family, which is called Butea monosperma. Its flowers are very useful in creating the lotion which can be used against the eye diseases. So the very first plant we have studied for the Fabaceae family is the Acacia nilotica, second one is the Cassia fistula, and the third one is the Butea monosperma. In case of the Acacia nilotica we have used its bark, in case of Cassia fistula we have used its leaf, and in case of Butea monosperma we have used its flowers. Now this Acacia nilotica was used for the ulcer treatment, and Cassia fistula is used for the ringworms, and the Butea monosperma is used for the eye diseases. All right, so these are the 3 plants which belongs to the Fabaceae family which shows the ethnomedicinal importance. All right.